So I'm Deloria Boone, and I'll be quickly going over my patient zero simulation. I just want to start by prefacing with that my country had a theocracy government, a welfare, capitalism economy, and the culture was progressive. So what went right? As a result of my decisions, I was able to have only 5% of my total population affected. My morale was at a medium level, which could have been improved, but it could have also been lower. So I'll just take that as a positive. And then lastly, the likelihood of my society collapsing was only 7%. So what went wrong? My first decision could have went a lot better and been more successful. I banned the pilgrimage outright for a national holiday for my country and chose to increase police presence along like major routes to Faith Tower, which is where all the pilgrims were like congregating. And I was just kind of assuming that the pilgrims may still participate regardless of safety. While it resulted in no incident occurring, morale was lower because the people just felt like the government, overreacted since, the people that did show up did not cause at least like a noticeable increase in the infection rate. So I could have chosen to be more lenient, but I feel that if I did, the infection rate probably would have increased. The reduction in the number of people who went to Faith Tower, given the decision I made during the national holiday, most likely was responsible for no noticeable increase in infection occurring. So I can't honestly say that if I had the chance to do it over, I would change my decision. So what kind of was my approach for the simulation? The characteristics I chose for my country included a culture of honesty and transparency and a tolerant, like multi-ethnic culture. And so I try to stay true to those parameters when making decisions. The majority of my actions kind of follow a utilitarian approach where I focused on helping the most people I could. I wanted to be able to benefit the majority kind of over the long run. So for one of my decisions, I kind of went public with a defect I had in an infection detection product, even though I knew it could hurt the economy, because I figured that if the truth got out, it would just cause like more government distrust and any distrust in future products that the government supported. And it also kind of just gave my people the chance to decide if they wanted to use the product on their own, given the risk. I also chose to subsidize a drug, even though I knew it wasn't a cure. I kind of did it to help ease the people's minds while I was working on a new product or a new cure. I figured having something for the people then rather than having nothing at all had a lot more kind of positive than negative implications. And then lastly, I also chose to not run a software to gather information in order to kind of better trace the virus more accurately, because it would kind of cause a lot of privacy rights and I feel like negative implications that could last longer than the current crisis we're in. And so I didn't want that to hinder the government in the future or like the country. And so lastly, what did I learn and what was my main takeaways from the simulation? So I learned that sometimes there are no good decisions. And I learned that it was truly hard to please everyone, especially the more people you had kind of involved. I also learned, because I took this prior to the ethics lesson or lecture. So I learned that, and this kind of made me think about a lot of right versus right decisions. And even here, it seemed like it might have been a couple wrong versus wrong, where it didn't seem like it was any right decision you could have made. It was just choosing the best of two evils. And I also learned that the ethics I considered and the way in which I came to a decision quite literally changed from moment to moment, depending on the situation that I had at hand. So thank you.